Hello and welcome back to the Beautiful Things channel. Today I'm going to show you how to turn a cheap tote bag into a really nice cushion cover that looks something like this. So the one photographed is from Poundland. It's a Harry Potter themed one. It's the one you're going to see in all the close-ups in today's tutorial. This one, however, which says new shoes can change your life, is from Iceland, which is a supermarket here in the UK, and it cost about £1.50. So I'm going to make this with you now, and then I'm going to insert little bits of close-up footage so that you can see things in more detail, and I'm going to take you from start to finish. So the first thing you want to do is unpick your bag. Now what some people do is they literally chop off the handles, pop a cushion in, and then pop this on the sewing machine and sew it up. That's great, but we want to give our cushion a professional finish with a really nice zip inserted into the base. So we are going to completely unpick this and turn it into its own bits of fabric. So the thing that I do first is just chop off the handles. I cut them flush with the top edge of the bag, and I put them to one side because you're going to use those handles later on for a little bit of fabric. The next thing you want to do is get your unpicker to this bag, and you are going to unpick every single seam, including all along the top edge here, and you're going to have to carefully unpick all around the handles. It's going to take you some time. Take your time, do it carefully. The fabric is really loosely woven, so it will fray like mad. So please be careful when you unpick and really take your time over this part. Okay, so once you've unpicked your cushion cover, you should have a piece of fabric that looks something like this, and a similar piece from the back of your bag. Now for this tutorial I have actually cut another piece of fabric to use as my backing, but that's just for speed. You can do that if you want to, or you can use the back of the bag for the back of your cushion. It's entirely up to you. Now I've straightened up the edges on both sides and along the bottom. I've just skimmed off the fraying parts, and my cover, as we'll call it, now measures just over 15 inches wide, but it is 16.5 inches deep. Now I'm going to leave that depth for now. I'm going to attach the zip to the bottom, and then I will take off any excess fabric from the top to finally make it square. But it's easier just to leave it like this at present, because this width is very narrow for a cushion. The average cushion insert is a 16-inch cushion, so once this is sewn together, potentially you're going to have to really squeeze your cushion into the cover. So get yourself two pieces of fabric that look something like this, and the next thing we're going to do is prepare the zip. I always like to use a zip that's considerably longer than I'm going to need. So this is actually a 20-inch zip, but you could get away with an 18-inch zip if your cushion measures about 15.5. Just go that next step up. 16 isn't quite long enough, so just go to the next level. Now what you want to do is a little bit of maths. Jot this down on some paper. You want to take the width of your cushion panel as it stands now, so in my case 15.5, and you want to deduct 2 inches. So that's going to give you a measurement of 13.5. So whatever that measurement is for you, the measurement across the width of your cushion minus 2 inches, make a note of that on paper. We're going to come back to it in just a minute. Now take your zip, pop it on the table so that you've got the end of the zip to the right of you and your zip pulley to the left. Pop it down on the table. Now you're going to get to that handle that you unpicked. You want about 6 to 8 inches of the handle, or you can use 2 scraps of fabric. It's entirely up to you. You're going to go and press them in half on the iron, both of these, to create little tabs that we're going to put at either end of our zip. You're going to take the first one and you're going to take the folded edge pointing towards your zip pulley and lay it down on your zip about 1 centimetre away from the metal zip pull of your zip. Next you're going to stitch down that with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Once you've stitched it down, you're going to flip it back and top stitch down to make it look nice and neat. At this point you can flip it to the back and you can cut off any excess zipper tape that you've got and the little metal pulley. So that's now gone and your tab hangs over the top. Now you're going to take that magic measurement that you got earlier, so in my case 13.5 inches, and you're going to measure from the seam of the tab that you've just stitched on 13.5 inches, or whatever your magic number was, out towards the zip pull, and make a mark with a removable pen. You're then going to make another mark 1/4 inch out from that line, closer towards the zip pull. Now this is the important bit. Open up your zip. Now take your second tab and place the raw edges along the outside line, the folded edge pointing in towards the tab that you've just sewn. Stitch it in place, open it up and top stitch it. You're going to need to squeeze those zip tabs closed as you sew to make sure that the zipper stays shut. Once you've done that, top stitch down and again remove any excess zipper from underneath your tab. You should now have something that looks like this. The next thing we're going to do is attach our cushion to our zip. So start by taking your front panel and lay it up in front of you so it's facing you, and the bottom edge of your cushion cover is running along your zip. Bring your fabric over so that the bottom raw edge, the right side, is touching the right side of the zip. Center it up. You're going to have extra zip tab hanging over either end, don't worry about that. Center it up, clip it or pin it in place. At this point, you're going to want to make sure that your zip is at least half open. Now you're going to stitch it using a zipper foot on your sewing machine. When you hit the zip pull, you're going to need to make sure that your needle is down in the fabric, that you can lift up your presser foot, push the zip back behind the foot, put the foot back down and continue to sew. Now it's up to you whether you do the next part or not. You can, if you want to, just to neaten things up, run a line of top stitching on the right side of your cushion. So once your zip is sewn to the bottom edge of your cushion, you're now going to repeat the process, attaching the other side to the bottom edge of the zip in exactly the same way, placing it right sides together, centering it up, making sure that the edges of your lining or the backing and the edges of your front are nicely aligned, and stitch in place. Now once your zip is attached, make sure you've opened it up so that you have a little bit of a hole. You're going to place your two sides right sides together. Fold it along the zip edge and clip or pin it in place here. You can then measure from your zip 15.5 inches, or however wide your cushion is, measure it down and chop off any excess at the top. If you're like me, you might find once you've put the zip in, you don't really have very much excess at all, in which case just leave it be and clip up all the way round your cushion. Now you're going to sew down both sides and along the bottom, and then you can turn your cushion cover in the right way through the zip, which you've left open. Remember to put your regular foot back on your sewing machine before you stitch. Then you can use your scissors to remove the bulk from the ends of the zips and turn it in the right way. Take your cushion pad and stuff. This cushion pad is way too big, but I don't have a 15 or 16 inch pad in the shop today, but I will get one. But just to show you, give it a good whack to distribute your pad, and there you have it. One cushion made from a tote bag. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It is just a short, sharp tutorial. It's not a course, it's not a class. It does assume that you have a few sewing skills. And obviously in our courses and our online provision, we go into a lot more detail and we give you a lot more close-ups. So this is just a little taster of what Beautiful Things has to offer. Thank you very much for watching. I will be back again soon with more tutorials, tips and tricks.